think we should be starting soon. Can't see who's in the tournament yet. Why is nothing here? Is there a delay or something? Do I have to go on the... Why don't I see any games? It's weird. Where are the games? Follow games. Maybe there's a delay. Maybe it hasn't started yet. We'll wait a little bit. See if I can find out who's joined this. Alright. Hopefully something comes up. Says event has not started yet. I'm gonna assume there's a few GMs playing. Some of these colleges have really strong players, especially a lot of international players. Hey, I hope the games aren't somehow running already. I don't actually know who's playing, so I can't even check, but it does say approximate start time. Alright, looks like I might have a list. Oh wow, there's some very strong players here. Some which I recognize, some I've never heard of, but let's see. Alright, there's an interesting time zone. I don't know if this is a bug, but apparently someone's played a game in the future on March 29th, but I guess in some parts of the world that was probably the date. So I don't think the games have started yet, because I don't see any completed games between a strong player and a lower rated player, which would be the case for the first round. Actually, I don't see the pairings here, so it's probably just not ready yet. Candidates starting soon, so don't think any of those guys are in college, but there have been some very, very strong players. I think Wesley So was a collegiate player for Webster. Anyways, looks like we have a mix of GMs, IMs, got a lot of WIM, WFM, WGM. Not a lot of FMs. I don't know where the FM love is. And then around half untitled, so hopefully we get some upsets. That'll be fun. A lot of people are going to be underrated because they're busy with school. I guess it's a lot of people from strong players from St. Louis, Texas Rio Grande Valley, Texas Dallas, Texas anywhere. Let's see, any colleges that are in the NCAA tournament right now? I see. St. Louis got eliminated. Actually, don't know if that's the same St. Louis. Pretty sure Mizzou got eliminated. Virginia, no, that's Virginia Tech. Oh, I see pairings, so maybe we'll get games soon. Just make sure I don't need to refresh. Alright, I'm gonna keep tabs on one of these players to make sure hasn't started. Have I played any of them? I've played I'm sure I have. Let's see. Oh, we got games. Alright, we got Isik Khan on board. Oh gosh, I need to adjust this. Got Isik Khan versus Sicalyra on board 1. I believe this is GM Isik Khan. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Versus WIM Sila Kaglar Also apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. White is from St. Louis University. Black is from Mizzou. Alright. Got Carol Khan here. I don't know if that's because his last name's Khan. Oh, okay, we gotta... I believe the idea here is you get a nice endgame if you trade queens, weirdly. Alright, I have a feeling g6... I don't know theory here, but I have a feeling g6 is not the main move, but... Playing low-rated player... I'm not sure what these ratings are based on. But probably trying to mix it up. It's probably knight d7, because knight f6, you have to think about knight e5. Think about d4. Think about take and then knight d7 if you're scared about d5. Goes knight e7, interesting. I guess that's a way to develop the knight without losing protection over e5. Okay, white goes queen e2, maybe wanting to take and take on e5. It's always not easy what to do at white here. Black has a pretty solid center. Okay, that feels wrong. Knight takes e5, falls to rook e8. At least you don't have two center pawns for black. So sometimes take and e4 is an idea, but unnecessary. Because white doesn't want to take here and give black the center again. Could go f6, bishop d2, maybe bishop e6. Oh wait, did I make that? Or no, I made that move. Okay, maybe bishop e6. Maybe bishop g4, provoke h3, and then bishop e6. Oh gosh, I'm in a mode where it's not following it. Let me try to get back here. Okay, c5. Okay, now we actually have kind of a reverse, a little bit of a Meraxi bind-like structure, although it's a little weird. I'd be very happy if I was black. It's the exact kind of position that you can outplay low-rated players in. c4 is a little suspicious because d4 is going to be very weak. This d3 pawn is going to be very weak. So if you can imagine this bishop coming to f5, or even g5, bishop g6 in the future. Okay, b4 is probably the right idea to get active. It's nice that if b6 you have problems along this diagonal. So probably... Okay, takes... Knight c6 is coming probably. I assume white's going bishop c3, cover d4 a bit. Queen d7, rook d8 is gonna come, put pressure on d3. Probably rook d8. I don't think d4 is ever good because c4 is tricky to deal with. Queen b2 might be a move. Always have to watch out for e4 also, but I'm not sure what happens here, because if takes, you can take on d1. So e4 could be an option. g5, I assume idea is bishop g6, and also possibly kicking out this knight, which protects d4, which is a key square. Knight d2. Okay, so I guess you can't take on d3. I mean, it's a little scary. There's probably all sorts of reasons. b6 is solid, just stopping any c5 ideas, any knight c5 ideas. We could get knight d4 at some point. Okay, queen b5. I might think about knight d4. You gotta worry about bishop c6 ideas, but the knight covers it. Oh gosh, I can't make arrows. So yeah, this pawn's weak. I mean, white. Computer says equal. I would not want to be white here. Knight b3 is a good move. Try to trade off some pieces. The good thing is this bishop currently is not doing anything. It might come this way one day. If you can imagine bishop f8, a5, bishop c5, create some kind of bind. If these bishops were traded, I think that would be a dream for black, because then you just have free pressure over all these pawns that are on light squares. So I guess white is probably bishop e4. You have to be careful because bishop e6 f5 will just kick it right back. I might have thought about like bishop c6, rook d6, bishop e4. I don't know. Ideas. Okay, now you have to go rook e3, but f5 looks, or no, not f5 right now. Oh yeah, this idea I mentioned before. This is gonna be scary. It's probably b4 to protect c5. Yeah. Now is there a killer blow here? Okay, just expand on the king side. Okay, I also didn't realize, but white also has 12 seconds. That's not fun when you're playing someone significantly higher rated than you. Again, I don't know what these ratings are, but I think it doesn't accurately represent their skill gap. Bishop h6, yeah, and now d3 is falling. Although the computer doesn't like that move, because a7 is actually hanging at the end. There was something better there. Okay, now I mean it's 5 seconds, so I think black is just gonna comfortably take this game. See if there's anything else going on. Any upset alerts? It's the first round, so we're not gonna get a lot of upsets because the rating gap is so high. I don't see any GMs that lost. Maybe let's look at this Antova. I think I've played Antova before and I might have played this guy too in CCL. This is a very complicated position. Computer likes white, but 14-18 seconds is anyone's game, and d6 it did not like. That does look a little weakening. Something on e4 might happen. Oh, d7. Whoa, blunder. Blunder, oh, big blunder. Okay, that's game over. So there's another non-upset. Oh, upset here, maybe. Okay, no, the bar lied to me, or white recently made a blunder. But white should still be very much in this. 2 pieces. Okay, for some reason, okay, rook h1. He had rook h1, maybe? I don't know. I have a feeling white's not surviving this. Oh, he also has no time. Okay, well now it's over. It's a pin. Somehow, every time I go to a game, they just blunder. Let me see if I can get the standings up somehow. Oh, Aryan Tari's playing in this? Very strong player. Wait, that's not the right one. See the top 3 at least. One game left. Oh gosh. Oh, is it synced? That'd be unfortunate. How is this game so on move 14? I don't understand. It must have started late. Or maybe white came late because he has 15 seconds. Or she has 15 seconds. But I don't think this game's lasting very much longer because this knight now has to go to b1 and rook c8's about to come and all pain is going to be invoked. I can see some ideas like this in the future with bishop f5. It's not going to be fun for them. Maybe I can... Okay, I have a better idea. Right, I'll have to suffice. Anyway, we got Aryan Tari, Victor Gazik, and Ekin Ozanir in top 3. I don't actually know who the third player is, but clearly a very strong IM. And of course there's a ton of other people tied for first. We'll get more of a differentiation as the rounds progress. Got about a minute before the round. Let's see, any interesting games that happened. Aryan Chopra, if anyone remembers, played in the match of the Millennials, I believe, back in the day, when they had this World versus USA Junior team. Unfortunately, I think the US got crushed in that event, but I think it was fun. If they did that right now, could be interesting, I don't know. Although all the strong juniors are now like almost world champion level, so that'd be a very strong event. Let's see. 85. This transformation is not great, but I guess they might have been thinking it's an equal position against a stronger player. Oh, I just got the bishop trapped. Queen ace, maybe rook ace. What's happening here? B6 just trapped, or queen a4. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see here. A few Canadians here I've played before. I believe I played Wellet in a North American Youth Championship a long time ago, and this guy was also there, who is now a Grandmaster and much stronger than me. Balaji, strong US player. Cervantes, I've played in the Collegiate Chess League before. Wow, we got a lot of players here. 66 players. Let's see what'll happen in round 2. I wonder if we might be at the state. Let's see, hold on. 32 players, 16. I also don't know if these are based on US ratings or chess.com ratings. But I think we might already be getting GM matchups, so that would be fun to see. It's for the follow hyper chess. Oh, thanks for the cheer, by the way. I don't really even know how those work. So yeah, I believe the highest FIDE rated player here is probably Aryan Tari. This guy's very strong. Number 76 active player in the world. Team Norway with the one and only Magnus Carlsen. I think this tournament might be US chess, actually like US chess online blitz rated or something. So that's probably why there's a bit more time between rounds, just making sure everything's official, getting stuff set up. But yeah, we should see some upsets. Actually, it's funny, there's 66 players. Could have made a March Madness bracket, but unfortunately this is not single knockout elimination, which would be entertaining. So I guess that makes Aryan Tari like Arizona, and then I think the skill gap between top and bottom in this tournament is likely higher than the skill gap between the 1 and 16 seeds in March Madness, but I could be wrong. It actually definitely is, because I can't guarantee. It would be very impressive if one of the lower seeds was beating one of the top 4 seeds for over half the game. What is live tracking? Oh. I don't know. Alright, well I can see the round 2 pairings. And it looks like we will have... I don't actually see any GM. It's GM. We might have to wait for the next round. But there are some GM IM matchups, and those can definitely go either way. 100%. If there's any player anyone wants to see specifically or watch specifically, I can't guarantee it, but I will keep it in mind. Or if there are any schools you want to follow specifically. But I'll probably just be following the top game until it kind of ends. Guess we can look at some of the other games while we're waiting. It hasn't started yet, right? Yeah, there's no round 2. Got Sean Rodrigue Lemieux's game. Again, I'm probably gonna butcher a lot of these names, but I apologize. Oh, we had a Jobava London. Very scary opening, but I assume Grandmaster Sean knows how to deal with them. So we didn't really get the exciting stuff. Now it's just kind of a slower game here. Both sides castled on the same side. Knight on b5 is a little strange. You could see some ideas of knight coming to d6. Interesting, so he goes for the trades. Maybe f6, e5 is an idea. So yeah, now the knight will be beautiful on the d6 square. a5, maybe against b4 ideas. This pawn's a little weak. Really don't want to go rook a1, but you might have to. Okay, they didn't for some reason, and maybe they just didn't see this was hanging, or they just really didn't want to go rook a1, which I guess is understandable, but also drops a pawn, unfortunately, for white. Wanted to go for the kill. Unfortunately, losing a bit too many pawns, and I don't see much of an attack for white. Queen c1, clinical grandmaster move, getting rid of the queens and forcing that. Okay, yeah, that was one of those games where it makes chess look very easy, but I would have probably gotten mated as black. Oh, maybe some games? Okay, we have games. We saw Mr. Khan last time. Let's see. Is Tari here? Where's Tari? Where's Tari? Where's Tari? Okay, let's watch Tari's game. 2600. Okay, we got a Grand Prix attack from White. An amateur favorite. Not very common at the Grandmaster level, but definitely playable and a lot of offensive prospects for the White side. Now it's 3-2. You do gotta play relatively quickly. The increment is not as helpful as it first seems. Okay, f5 already. Interesting. I don't know too much about this line, but I guess the idea is if you take with the knight at the end. I don't know what the idea is, but maybe you just get open files and are happy. I'm not sure what happens after g takes. Because f takes maybe d5. f6? Okay, I don't like takes because now knight e4 is going to be painful, I think. Weak squares. But something seemed a little suspicious to me. I thought maybe f6. And then d5, I don't know. Oh, pawn takes, also interesting because now d6 is under attack. Queen d2 castle, d6 is going to be very weak. King's side is very weak. I have a feeling this might be a miniature, but we'll see. So unfortunately you can't go knight d7 because d6 is weak. Oh gosh, okay, maybe queen e1 here. Queen d2, okay. That's the difference between me and a grandmaster. Love to go b5, but can't. I assume rook d1. If rook d8, queen f4. Could also go queen f4 right away. I mean, it does get hit with knight g6, but after queen g4, it's not a good follow-up. Okay, bishop h6 also very strong. h4, yeah. h5 coming. Would love to go knight e5, but at the least black gets double pawns. And gets checkmated in this case. What to do here as black? Don't know. h5 is a threat. King h8 might have to be played. King h8, h5, knight e7. Take, queen g5, king h6. I mean king h8, h6. Rook g8, queen f6, that's checkmate, so... Computer says there exists a move. Okay, apparently queen e7 is the only move that doesn't lose. Which is reasonable, makes sense. When you're under attack, bring your pieces to the side that you're getting attacked on. Oh, that does not look good. Okay, h5 and queen g5 are just coming now. No, this is over. Because if you take here, knight g5 is going to come and you can't protect this pawn. Okay, knight takes. If knight takes, queen g5. Maybe he wants knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, knight e5. But I believe the issue is... What's the issue there? There's got to be an issue there. There's something. There's something. Well, this is more clear because now queen g5 and h6. Oh, maybe not. Oh, f6. Okay, sorry. Here and then h6. That's going to be game over. If white had taken here... Oh, same idea. You just check first. Yeah. Okay. I'm silly. But yeah, this is tough. This is mate in 5, computer says, and it's pretty obvious at this point. Okay, now white's just gonna be up a piece. So I think we can switch to a different game. Let's look at Chopra's game. Wow, okay, opposite color bishops, but as you know, in opposite color bishops in a middle game, the side that's attacking, if there is one, is going to be very dangerous because it's so hard to defend the light squares when one of your pieces doesn't have any access to light squares. I think even b3 is good here, but you might want to leave a file open in case you want to attack on more than one flank. You might be a little bit scared about stuff coming this way, but I think f5 is going to come at some point so that you can take with the rook and then hit f7. Well, right now a3 is attacked, so, and you might just be losing that pawn because I don't know how you guard it. It's a very methodical. Oh, h4 is very strange, actually. I don't. Maybe he just wanted so f5 comes with force. I feel like you're locking it up too much here. Something seems weird. Okay, queen d7 is a nice move because you're coming into h3 and rook. I don't like how much white. Oh, this is a grandmaster matchup, by the way. I didn't even notice. I don't like how much white put his pieces this way, and now black is gonna get his pieces this way, and this way has one passed pawn on a2, which still has 9 squares to go, and by 9 I mean 7. And this side has a king that it might be very scared of being checkmated. Now the good thing for white is this bishop has no future. But that's why I was a little scared about taking on a3. Okay. Oh wow, rook f4, rook f4, because this is pinned. Oh, didn't see it. That was a big miss. Rook f4 was big there. Does this work? Okay, but black has 5 seconds. I don't blame him for trying something. You never know. You could get lucky in these positions. Anything could happen. Although, okay, this is tough because f7 is hanging. Yeah, queen d2, g5, and queen d3. There's no checks, I think. Yep. If rook g6, rook e6, rook e6. If takes queen h7, mate, or rook h7. Still no checks. Yep. Yep. That's gonna be nice win. A little shaky, but got the job done. Oh wow, we got a loss by a GM to an untitled player here. Let me just check, are they actually untitled? Who is this? GM Santiago? No, not untitled. I am. But let's see. No, actually, let's look at some games that are still going. Oh, Isaac Khan is losing against. Okay, still needs to do some work, but the fact that this king is so far away from the pawns is very concerning. It's very easy, even if this is a draw, to mess up as white. Because one queen trade and you're done for. In the wrong place. Although I don't like how black is. Oh, okay, he calculated this. Okay, yeah, it's good. I was gonna say I don't like how the king's being forced this way, but yeah, okay, this is over. This is just the winning king and pawn endgame. So good job by. Good job by Sebastian. Important to keep the opposition going all the way. Lamia beat Cervantes. Subramaniam beat Parkov. We had a draw on board 4. Okay, we got an even game here. Okay, this is just a draw, I guess. It's gonna be a repetition. Unless one side decides to go crazy. Although these endgames can be tricky sometimes, but I assume Mr. International Master will be accurate here. Any other games going on? We got IM Vyam beating GM Luka Budisavljevic. This is just over. Minbot 3000 versus one of the lower rated pairings. This one's also just over. This game is still going. Okay, white gave up the pawn, but it's going to be a draw because the king just comes in and takes the pawn. Hey, FNMB. Alright, so standings. I don't exactly know how these pairings work because Tari should be on board 1 according to these ratings. These might be based on like US online blitz ratings, so some of the ratings might be a little off because they haven't played a lot of events. I don't know what these ratings are though. Anyway, we had a few draws. There are 14 people with 2 points out of 3. Or 2 points out of 2, I mean. So we should see some pretty strong matchups here in round 3 because everyone... I think over half of the people with 2 are grandmasters. I guess we can go through some of the other games until we wait for the next round. Got a Queen's Gambit here. Alright. Classic minority attack, I'm guessing, with Rook B1, B4. B4 right away is kind of cute, but... Isolated pawn on D3. C6 weak. Knight C6 cute. A7. Oh, they just won a pawn like this. That's nice. It's probably very textbook by white, honestly, from Parkov. B4 is nice because if you take E4 is hanging, this pawn's much more important. Well, arguably. So maybe A6 was possible, but then just A4 and same idea. Bishop f5 is nice because c6 is weak, so you want to trade the bishop off, which is guarding the square. And black here runs into this pin. And then just a clean conversion, piling up on d5. Okay, I've seen cleaner conversions before, but good enough. I maybe spoke too soon. Okay, this actually got very messy and was actually a draw. Oh wait, black won this game. What the heck? What am I saying? Okay, never mind. Very unclean convert. Oh, that's not good. Okay, I lied. Very unclean conversion. That's my bad. I thought white won. That's a pretty bad loss, unfortunately, for Mr. Parkov. I guess knight g5 was kind of... maybe even... rook d5, I guess, was cleaner, but that's kind of hard to see. You'd love to go f3, but queen g3. It's already messy here. Yeah, I don't know why he gave up this pawn. Maybe a little bit too much of a rush. And then obviously just hallucinated here. All right, we got round 3 pairings. Let's watch Dagupati versus Chopra, since they're both 2 out of 2 and they're both very strong grandmasters. Guessing they're both relatively young. Oh, they started. Alright, we got a perk here. Or sorry, Philidor, my bad. Very classical line. Some famous games from pre-2000s. So I'm not an e4 player, but this looks pretty standard. Maybe bishop c1, knight f6, bishop e3, the classic draw. Okay, black doesn't want it. But I don't know. I always just like these positions with white because there's more space, but I'm guessing Chopra knows how to handle them well. E5. This actually looks a lot like his first round game. Okay, and white takes on e5 again. It's very strange to me why they do this. Bishop h6 is a threat, but this is a nice move because if you take, the rook protects f6, threat's no longer there. And yeah, black should be very comfortable here. a6, b6. Question is, will this pawn become a strength or a weakness? Very cliche thing to say. Bishop takes c3 is probably a very safe move because I don't really see how black loses this. Although I didn't really see how white loses the other game, so. Should we try to predict their moves? Rook b6. What the heck was rook e8? Wait, bishop h6 also? What? That was the whole point. What is this? Oh, we just forgot about it. That's not good. With 2 minutes 46 seconds on your clock. Although it is easy to forget about these things. Maybe they didn't know what to do. You can always move the knight first. Alright, now let's see if white can convert. Although c4, it's not easy. Double pawns are pretty bad. And now actually black has play because e4 is falling, and I would very much love e4 for a5. Because I don't think that passed pawn really has a future anyway. So maybe I don't know. I want knight b5 so that I can either go to d6, or if the bishop moves, it can go to d4. There also is an idea of rook c8, with the idea that you have knight e2, rook c2, but e5 is hanging. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is... I mean, it's equal. I don't know why you're just going down a pawn, though. But, I mean, black should hold. Black should hold. Okay, let's try to see if there's a more exciting game right now. Let's look at the first board. Subramanian, Subramaniam, who had a big swindle last game against Mungdalai from Mongolia. What schools are they from? Looks like it's Mizzou, white, and... Oh no, sorry. Mizzou, black. St. Louis University, white. St. Louis, big powerhouse. Mizzou, also rising big powerhouse. I don't know how rising they are anymore, but... I believe Mizzou is coached by Christian Kurilla. I don't know who St. Louis is coached by. Queen c6 is a nice move, because if they don't see it, they'll get checkmated. Who doesn't love checkmate threats? Okay, I do like black's position here, because this knight's going to be very nice on d5. This is a very weak king side here. f4 coming. Very lucky black doesn't have a dark square bishop, but I would be very worried, because you love to go f4, but it's checkmate. This bishop also can't easily move off because this knight's hanging. b5, I guess. I wonder if there's d5 ideas. Oh no, but then the e5 square is weak. Computer wants c4, not the most obvious move to play though. Okay, now f4, g4, knight h4. And I would be very scared if I was white here. Okay, he does go d5. I think it's a too late, and I'm not even sure it was that good before, but at least the idea is this battery is now clogged. The question is, I mean, the thing is, this would be much better if this pawn was on f4, because e5 is now such a strong square you can just use. I'm not sure why they didn't go rook e5. That looked very strong. But obviously it's much easier talking from a spectator perspective. And this might be the safer route. I do like this idea of getting the knight to e3. Always try to picture where your knight would love to be. h4 is nice. Oh, I don't like that from black, because now... Yeah, that was unnecessary. This bishop is really bad now. Okay, if this rook was on c7, white would be very happy. The issue is... You can't really stop this right now. Okay, knight c6 was apparently the only move according to the computer, so very nice by black. But does have to give up this pawn. So hard about these grandmasters is you really gotta play a perfect game. I can't tell you how many times I had a winning position and just blew it against one. Kind of like how if you don't put down Duke, they will come roaring back at some point. This would maybe be more like a 9 seed, 1 seed matchup. if we're comparing it to basketball. Black still has decent chances to hold, but I think suddenly white became easier to play. You would love to have two moves here, bishop e6 and knight h7 at the same time. Okay, black should be a little careful. Okay, I think that was a good move, covering all the squares. Maybe a5. So black does have this idea of getting a passed pawn this side, which could become dangerous. I think white will have enough play to put pressure on the king side. Oh, knight f4. This is a good rerouting, though. The only issue is you can't support this, so it will be kicked out. And I'm getting a little scared of some stuff that's happening here. Okay, give a check. Take on d6, maybe. Both sides in time pressure, 12 to 15 seconds. By the way, you can see there's already a few players on 3 out of 3. Oh, this is fancy. Now rook f3. If king g2, you are losing the rook. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening here? Okay, whoa. Too many things are happening. I think black should be able to hold. I mean, if this pawn drops, it's a draw. I mean, they're so short on time. Can't expect them to play perfectly. Well, now it's a draw. You just go king e5 now or something. Yeah. I mean, if anyone wins, I would not be too surprised if black wins, honestly, with the 3 passed pawns. I know white has this passed pawn too, thankfully. For white. But okay, now taking bishop d5. Okay, now this is just winning. Oh my goodness. What just happened there? Oh, a2. He had a2 here because rook b1 you can't play and rook a4 you can't play. Oh, it's a big miss. It would have been a draw apparently after rook b3 takes. I can show that after. But I suppose for every blunder you receive like last game, you make a blunder like this game. Oh wait, no, this guy won again. Alright, I guess this guy's just a really good Blitz player. Let me just show you really quick though, that was a cool line. So, here, very obvious move, take back the rook. Unfortunately, completely losing because take 2 moves to support this pawn now, and this pawn is rolling up the board. But he had a2. Can't protect it. So white would almost be losing, but rook b3, check. Idea is if the king moves, you can now guard the promotion. The king takes, you have a check. Sacrifice the bishop. They're gonna each promote their pawns. Oops, not that, that would be losing. And you never know what happens in these positions, but white has the first check, and based on how far the king and pawn are, this pawn's probably being... Actually, yeah, this just takes the pawn off the board. And would have been a draw. Unfortunately, black doesn't see that, understandably with 14 seconds, and does not save the half a point. All the games are over, so we, I guess, landed on the game that took the longest. Alright, 6 rounds to go. Hello, no friction. I am having a pretty pleasant weekend. Hope yours is good too. Hello, Luke. Troy. Oh, we got round 4 pairings. A lot of players from India. Not surprising because they're a very strong chess country. Alright. This guy's been on fire, so we'll continue to follow him. And Jean-Rodrigue Lemieux. Despite my high school French. Probably terrible pronunciation. I'm not even going to try the French R right now. Very strong. I think we were both competing for an IM norm when I was in the under 16 or 18, I forget, North American Championship back in the day. I did not play him, but I played many other Canadians, some of which are in this tournament. But clearly very strong now. I believe he's a very tactical player. I've played him online in Blitz a few times. Actually, have I played either of these guys? It doesn't really show. Alright, we have a G3 English. Black goes for an aggressive setup with F5. So now we have kind of a reverse Sicilian. E4 is interesting. 92, I guess. See if we can predict any moves. These positions are always very interesting and tricky. The structure, the pawn structure, you really have to be good with pawn structures to play the English because they change so dynamically. That's kind of what makes them interesting too. White's going to go for a d4 break at some point because you don't want this backward pawn forever. And let's say these pawns get traded off. Black's going to have this backward. Black's going to have this b7 pawn under pressure. This d6 pawn's a little stuck. Pieces are not very active. White's going to have open lines. So that's what White's aiming for here. So now Black wants to go d5 himself to get this weak. And you can't go d4 here because of c4 will be hanging. So d5 should be possible, but doesn't want it. Knight d5 I assume comes at some point because if you take with the knight it's a pin. I mean a fork. Take with the bishop. Knight's gonna go backwards. Goes this way, queen b3. Or, yeah, gonna kick it out. White gets a lot of space. Unopposed, light square bishop. So, I do like White's position here. f4 can come at some point. Or White can go the queenside expansion route with b4, b5. Nice to see you here, too. Still complicated position. D4. Black does have d4 under control in exchange for White having d5. Kind of the difference is this light square bishop is very active right now, and this dark square bishop is not. I might just take the two bishops even. Interesting. So black could go c5 here, and then white never gets this d4 break, which could be a little annoying. Okay, so white... Okay, now I think white's happy, though, because he does get d4. So c5 might have been interesting. Two bishops, open position. We all know two bishops are good in open positions. Black would love to go knight f5 to get rid of this bishop. Unfortunately, there was bishop g5 in the way, despite this pawn being hanging. Uh-oh. I wish I knew how to get back into... Maybe if I do reload. Okay, so very clear threat here. h4 I think is the only way to stop this. Oh, bishop e3 is also possible. Black could sack the exchange. Okay, but I think white has a clear advantage now. A safe advantage. So when I said that this guy was a tactical player, I clearly did not forecast the game correctly. f4 is a nice move, gaining some more space. Eventually going to go for g4. Bishop f2 probably, so that when you go g4, h4 is covered, is what you want there. Hello, Luke Pixels. I am not a professional. I assume you mean player, but I'm not a streamer either, so not a professional in any sense in the chess world. But I used to play competitively. Oh, also, what happened here? Why did he allow this? But this guy has made swindles before, but I have a feeling against a strong grandmaster, and this is gonna be tough. He might even resign soon, actually. I guess he just missed. Not sure what he missed, but very clean game from white. I'm just covering because Joe was unavailable at this time. They're still going, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I don't... 18 seconds. Let's go to a different game. I think that's going to end soon. Let's go to Tari's game. Complicated position. Oh, exchange sec. We love to see those. Computer actually thinks black is better. And if the computer thinks one side is better and they're down in exchange, that is a very bad sign for the other side, because that usually means they have some dangerous momentum. This is kind of a cute idea to get to f6. Whoa. Knight c5. I thought they would pile on this pawn more. Computer doesn't like it. I mean, still compensation. Oh, that's weird. So I think black's doing this because he was worried about some attacks this way, so he wanted to clog this up, but I think black's going a little astray here. Because you always have f3 to kick the knight. And the knight's actually kind of good when you're down in exchange because they provide a lot of more options to cover squares, and computer wants to take the knight, although I understand why it's not very tempting because this bishop's quite strong too. Rook a2. The issue is these bishops are so passive. So the knight was kind of the most active minor piece, and now it's gone. Tari, obviously a very strong player, probably recognized that. Okay, this bishop does have some life, but now, see, now this is going to get really scary. Something like queen d4, knight f6, hit f6 is probably coming. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough because this bishop is so dead and this bishop is so dead. Yeah, I think check and maybe I would go queen d4, but I trust Tari more than me. Oh, this is scary. Yeah, this might be over. Very nice conversion from Tari up in exchange from what originally looked like a little scary. Is Tari in the middle of a OTB tournament? I don't know. Which tournament? Is he at Reykjavik? Simi wanted some money. I know there's a history of strong players playing like Title Tuesday events in between strong tournaments, so not unheard of. So we can see, oh, we already have some differentiation here. So top 2 players have 4 and number 3 has 3.5. Although it looks like GM Kostov, oh no, he also has 2.5. So maybe there's only 2 players going to be on 4 out of 4 people. Dagupati also with 2.5. Completely winning. There's definitely a view that, oh, okay, I should use this view. I'm being inefficient. Any interesting games left? 2 bishops versus 2 knights. That's cute. Oh, I know this guy. I think this guy's from Connecticut. I don't know what college he goes to. I think he might have beat me in a kind of embarrassing game. It's fun seeing all the bars go up and down. I don't really like the bars, but I feel like they make me worse, but I guess it's nice when commentating. Oh, white saved this somehow, because now I have 7. This is a draw. I feel like there's a very high profile game kind of similar to this where someone messed up in a position similar to this. I don't know. Anyway, good save. This is just a draw. The only way white can win this is if the king... Well, I was going to say the only way white can win this is if the king's on... So I'm just going to take control because nothing's going to happen. Okay, I can't even do it fast enough. Okay, so the only way white can win is if... black takes this while the king is on opposition. The issue is even if you get this, black just doesn't have to take because if you take it's a draw with the opposition, and if you check it's stalemate. So we have 2 draws left, basically. But yeah, we have 2 people not running away, but in the clear lead. Victor Gazik, I believe, is also a very strong player. I forget where I'm remembering his name from, though. Maybe, I think he's Hungarian? Strong Hungarian player? I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. He's from Slovakia, so I am very sorry. I thought I remembered someone similar. He's around my age, so much more accomplished than me. Maybe he might have played against my team when I used to play collegiate. Maybe that's why I remember him. His name sounds really familiar. Alright, we're watching this beautiful game. Who will win? Sounds like a clock. Well, clock's over. That would be a funny clock. Just has like 2 chess players. Alright, so we have... Let's see if there are any big upsets. I don't see any. Take a look at some of these other games we didn't see. Looks like Chopra lost. Wow, we have seen so many games today where white takes on e5 in these structures. Very complicated game. Square's a little weak, but here's c5. I'm surprised. Wow, f4 would have been crazy here. It's a little scary. Yeah, this is a little absurd, honestly, to just be okay with this. So I don't blame him for not finding that. And I guess if knight e4, then just queen f3. Black even has this crazy move. Rook d7. This I can understand is better. But yeah, that was a little crazy. Wow, a lot of swindles today because white was just like... I mean, it's kind of obvious how good... Like, great pawn structure. How did white lose this? I assume something happened on d4. Oh! Big blunder because queen takes, rook hangs, knight takes, knight c5. Still had queen d2 to not lose everything. Maybe they missed queen e8 here. No, but I mean at worst they even had... Oh, because here they have queen e7, so maybe they missed queen e8. This may be reasonable. Well, of course, we're going to watch the top 2 players now, 4 out of 4. Let's see if anyone goes 5 out of 5. My prediction is a win from Mr. Lemieux. I think he's quite good in these formats and very good with white. Oh, wow, this is a weird line. I don't even know what this is called. Could transpose into something. Let's try to predict their moves. It's a little bit like a Scandinavian castle. Oh, I already got that wrong. That makes sense because he probably didn't want castle bishop g4. So it looks like Lemieux kind of likes these positions where the pawn structure is not super clarified in the beginning. Oh, he did get the bishop around there. That was kind of sneaky by him. So now white kind of has to... Oh, knight b5 is a nice move to prevent knight d4, actually. I would go knight b5, but white might have to go g4 at some point to deal with this. Okay, finds knight b5. That's a nice move. So maybe like bishop d6, knight takes, pawn takes, and like c3 to cover this. c3, d4, actually, I'm starting to like white's position. Because now you cover these squares. So knight b5 was a very nice move. I would go c3 in a heartbeat. Yeah, and then go d4 next. And black's pieces are a little not active here. I mean, knight d5 is possible. Probably just bishop g3 back. Doesn't really accomplish too much. You would love for this knight to disappear and place... What? Are they friends or something? Are they from the same school? Let me check. No, they're not even from the same school. Okay, I mean, I guess... Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I haven't been updating the round. I mean, I'm a little confused because I would love to have white here. I was gonna say black would love to maybe get c6 in, but this knight doesn't have a good square to retreat to. Man, I'm surprised because... I mean, it is round... Well, we're like around halfway through. 2 leaders maybe want to share the point. But you got some very big firepower coming from behind. Like Tari. So I don't know why. I understand why. I mean, I understand why black would want to draw. I don't see how black is too excited about this. I'm a little surprised by Sean's decision, but I won't question it too much. Let's look at some other games. Speaking of Tari, let's look at Tari's game. Okay, we got... Let's play Guess the Opening. Was it Queen's Indian? No, it wasn't. It was a Catalan. My favorite opening. Okay, to be fair, this is kind of like a Queen's Indian now. Okay. Oh, knight g5 he had. Very common idea, by the way, in these lines, where the queen and the bishop. But knight e5 happened, and probably he missed knight c4. Oh, knight f6 was nice, maybe. Hold on, knight f6, queen f6, bishop b7, b8. What was happening here? And black has compensation, but that would have been a nice way to... Because now... I don't like this for white with the isolated pawn and the bishop behind it. But yeah, knight g5 here was quite strong because if knight takes... Unopposed crazy Catalan bishop. Queen takes... Take here. If you move the queen... You're losing to this. Take with the bishop. Again, unopposed monster Catalan bishop. And if knight takes here, many ways, but you also have a check here, which is very scary. But yeah, now probably draw, but I could see... The nice thing for white, at least, is these pawns are a little weak. Hi, Flufflepuff. Oh, bishop e7 is nice, because taking advantage of a8. Okay, this is going to liquidate into a draw now after takes. So let's look at the next board, Isaac Khan's game. Looks like a free pawn, so what forced this? Nothing really forced this. Why did he do this? Wait, what? Oh, I guess black is daring. Okay, so knight f7, the issue is bishop e6. Yeah, I don't get knight d6 because at the least I don't understand how this is just not a free pawn. Maybe white just really didn't like their position. So black does have 7 seconds, so let's see if he can defend this in 7 seconds. And he did. What happened? Oh, he just missed rook e1. That's not good. Maybe already he didn't feel like he had great options. Yeah, I think with 7 seconds is going to be enough, but let's see. Contrary to popular belief, oh, he almost flagged there. C6 pawn. Oh, he lost on time. Something happened. Oh, thank you for the follow, Sambat. That's crazy. I wonder if he had bad Wi-Fi. I'm surprised he flagged. But yeah, 2-second increment can be very misleading. It's actually very, very fast. Let's see some other games. Got Vyam Vidyarthi versus Santiago Avila. It's a very scary position for white. That's a blunder, apparently. But why? Oh, very nice move. I can now see why it was a blunder. It still looks a bit scary for white, but the nice thing is you have this pin. Black has 8 seconds. Better make a move. It's not easy. Rook f1's coming. Put pressure here. Oh, bishop f4. Oh, I'm liking white here, because rook f1. Yeah, this is over. Uh-oh. Too many pawns once you trade the queens. Oh, check. Yeah, it's over. Check. It's a bit of an upset. Well, I don't know. Some of these IMs are higher rated than GMs, so I don't know if these upsets are actually upsets. Got 3 games left. Let's look at Antova. She has mate in 6. Let's look at Boyer versus Cardoso. Or is it Boyer? I don't know. Hold on. I saw the bar flip like crazy here. What was going on? I can see black winning this though. It's up a pawn. Knights are tricky. Yeah, I predict black will win this, but we'll see. Are you a friend of Gabby and Tova, I assume? I think I met her very briefly at a tournament once. I believe she's a strong FM. Let's see if black can convert this. I have a feeling he will. This is so hard to play in blitz as white. Yeah, now d4. Put everything on the dark squares. d4. Or e4. I liked d4. I don't know. Okay, but yeah, knight f4 is threatened. This is where you start panicking as white. Don't go f5 though, because they have queen d5. King f6. I would have maybe taken the knight, because the knight is so scary, but it's understandable with 5 seconds you don't know what the right decision is. Okay, well you do reach this position anyway. E3. Oh. Why not e3 there? e3 here was very strong. I believe this is the last game we have, so let's focus on this. Each with 3 out of 4, so this is whoever wins this is gonna have decent chances to keep going. It's the thing that's so hard about these positions under time pressure is you have to be sure about whatever pawn endgame comes after each queen trade, and it's so easy to trade queens here. Can definitely hate your life after you either trade down into a losing position or trade down into a drawing position by accident. Okay, but now this mate in 3. Oh, queen h1, f5, queen e4. Oh no, or this one. Ooh. Anyway, my prediction holds true. But yeah, no, that's so hard to defend as that's so difficult to defend as white. So our new standings. Alright, so the 2 players that drew are still top 2, so maybe their strategy's working. I still think it's a bit early for such draws, but they could be good friends, honestly. I don't know. That would make it more likely. 4.5, so probably a lot of players on 4. Let's see. Yeah, there's like 8 players on 4 chasing them. Tari, Aditya, Vidyarthi, Chatterjee, Budisavlevich, Cardoso. Some players on 3.5, and a bunch on 3. So the top 10 are kind of the ones with the best chances right now. So we're about halfway through the tournament. 4 rounds to go. We got 1 non-GM in the top 10, so the underdog rooters will be rooting for Mr. Vyam Vidyarthi. Double V. W. That's a terrible nickname. Okay, sounds like we have a bit of a break. Alright, looks like we have about 10 minutes left for the next game. No worries. I will take a quick 5-minute break then, and then come back around 5 minutes before the next round. Alright, I think the next round starts very soon. We're gonna be on round 6. Thank goodness this is not a 7-round tournament. So looks like we're probably gonna get Wagazik and Rodrigue can't play each other. Wagazik and Rodrigue. So probably maybe Gazik plays Subramaniam, and Rodrigue plays Rahul Srivatshav. By the way, there are some team standings. I don't know how much they matter, but it looks like the best performing team for anyone curious right now is actually tied is St. Louis University and UTexas Dallas. And it looks like that probably takes the top 4 performances. Followed by UT RGV with 15, Mizzou with 14.5, and Texas Tech. So yeah, kind of the powerhouses that you would expect. Four rounds to go. I don't know if... I assume these are in tiebreak order, the standings. No non-GMs or IMs in the top 16, so no real Cinderella stories right now. Oh, round 6. We'll take a look at Gazik versus Aditya. Let's see if either Gazik or Rodrigue Lumia can pull ahead. I don't know if people from the same school are allowed to play each other. I haven't checked. I am not a collegiate player. I mean, I did play when I was in college, but I am no longer in college or associated with one. Oh shoot, okay, game started. We got one of these weird Sicilian lines. Oh, please don't be a draw. Okay, thank you. Ooh, g5. So there's a famous game, Topalov. We're old. Yeah, although I will say a lot of these players are a lot older than you think, whether they're in grad school or other reasons. So there's a famous game, I believe, Topalov, Magnus against Topalov, if I remember correctly, and like Magnus's Nightmare Norway tournament, if anyone remembers that. Lost to like Hammer and everyone. But anyway, he went g5 and something like this. I don't think exactly like this, but I was hoping we would get that for an exciting game. But we could still go g5. Okay, now he's not. He's not. Now we have more of a traditional. If black goes e5, it's gonna look like a Najdorf. I'm not an expert in these lines, but we'll see what happens. There's always some ideas of taking e5 in these positions. Okay, h3 so they can go queen somewhere without knight g4 ideas. Takes, and I guess b5 is probably the idea, because if you don't take, then b5 is not possible since the knight on c6 is hanging. They sometimes also just go this way. I don't know. You have to always watch out for a4 though. And key thing is you can't go b4 here, because well, let's see. Okay, so he went with this idea instead, which is probably better. So a4 what the? Oh, that's a mouse slip. Oh wait, no, that's by me. What the heck? What just happened there? All right, never mind. Okay, queen d7. All right. So b6 is gonna be a key square. I think the idea is white's dream would be if this pawn was on c4, and they can go like this. Unfortunately, once you move that knight, d5 is probably coming, or a combination of e5 and d5. Very tricky positions. So queen d3 probably just so e5 doesn't come with a tempo. Now knight d7 to go to e5 or c5. Also open up this diagonal for this bishop. So white goes bishop d4. Not exactly sure why. Maybe it's discourage knight e5. Or maybe provoke e5. I think bishop f6 makes sense here. Maybe rook d1. Again, you'd love if this pawn was here. Not easy, not easy. I don't know what white does here. Maybe, what would I do? I'd love to go f4 at some point, but it's kind of weakening. So he does go rook d1. So if he moved the bishop, it's checkmate. Don't move this knight. It's pinned. There's no real threat, though, I think. So maybe just rook c8. I mean, it is a little annoying that black can't go b5, but also it's also annoying for white that he has to keep watch over this. So it's hard for this rook to go somewhere else. So maybe b4 is probably going to come at some point. Bishop e5 is kind of a nice move. If f4, I don't think white really wants to do that. A little weakening. So maybe he's going to go back. I don't know. But you kind of don't need to go back because you're happy if... Okay, he takes, forces the issue. Knight f6 maybe. And then ideas of e5, d5, or just d5 right away, actually. But d5 you gotta be careful because these can get scary. Bishop d3. I'd be a little scared about this rook being trapped, but the good thing is white can't harass the rook with pawns because this a5 pawn holds things down. rook b4, interesting. I might even just go king h1 at some point. Queen e7, hinting at d5. So probably the rook's gonna move because I don't see how you protect the rook. Either b6 or d4. d4. Black's just waiting for the right moment to go d5 and break, because if these pawns are traded, black's completely fine. And this bishop actually becomes quite nice. You'd love to go b4. It's a little scary because this knight is unprotected. But also, like, this bishop does a good job protecting that pawn. Engine says equal, and it probably is. I mean, the only real plan white has is to attack this d6. I don't really see this b4, c4 idea happening anytime soon. Just be careful of d5 at the right moment. Like, why can't you go d5 here? What happens? Something like this. Looks fine. I don't know. Maybe there's just no need. Hold on, now knight h5 and like queen f6 ideas maybe. We'll see how ambitious black gets. Oh, he does go knight h5. Okay, this rook is a little weirdly placed. I don't think white's in immediate danger, but we also have players down to 20 seconds now. Alright, so they went back to where they came from. Okay, now hit this pawn again. Either b4 or rook a1. I have a feeling white's going to go b4. Or knight e2 is also an option. But now d5, because e5 is not guarded. So, yeah, black is very happy. My prediction is... You know what? I'm gonna predict black wins. I have no good reasoning, but I have a prediction black wins. I feel it. I don't know why. Just from what I've seen, I just have this feeling black will win. E4, interesting. So what happens if you trade? You get c2 at the least, and then maybe a slightly better endgame. Oh no, he goes bishop f5. Oh, is this gonna liquidate? Wait, rook b4? No, then bishop c2. So queen c2, rook c2. No, but then knight d4. So then queen c2, you have to take out the bishop, and then rook c1. Ah, this is probably just gonna be a draw. Okay, my prediction was wrong. Wait, knight d4, rook c5. Okay, this is just gonna be a draw. My prediction was wrong. Very wrong. Oh, although okay, there's still some life left now. I don't know why they didn't trade the minor pieces. I think the bishop's a little better actually. Because there's still pawns on both sides, but obviously it's still a draw. Unless one side really messes up. Okay, well, black hung a pawn. Alright, you know what? My prediction was really, really wrong. Okay, white's gonna probably win now. Knight e5, knight f7, knight g5 coming. Although, what? Okay, now either side could win. Wait, rook g7? What is this? What is this, my friend? It would be nice if they showed chess.com blitz ratings here, because that's what really matters. Okay, now white's just gonna win this. I think. I mean, there's still some work to do. What's the idea here? Just knight c5 and knight b7? No, I think b4. Yeah, b4 at some point. Yeah. Alright, what are the other games like? There's only 2 other games. Tari's game still going. He is down a pawn, actually, against the one non-GM in the top standings, Vidyarthi, but this is going to be a draw. An interesting game here. There's probably also going to be a draw between Kacharava and Bilovil. Because the only thing white can do is hit this pawn, and with the king's positions, it's always going to be a draw if they liquidate. So Lemieux also did not win. Wait, what? Oh, oops. Oh no, Lemieux did win. What am I saying? Oh, because Gazik won. Oh, right. Okay, so both the top players won. So, good job by them. Maybe that's why they drew with each other. They knew they were just the 2 best players by far in this tournament. It's not true, obviously. Everyone's very strong. Let's see how this guy won. How the heck do I get to this game? Oh, I'm already on this game. I'm stupid. Okay. King's Indian exchange variation, yet black still won. I don't know the theory here, but this looks pretty dry to me. I would have thought knight d2 here, or knight g5. Wait, this looks really good for white. Or at least, like, I would be happy. Bishop d5. I kind of want to do something crazy like king f3. I don't know. How did white lose this? I guess you can't take because... That's a weird reason you can't take. Huh, I guess this is just fine for black. Even better, wow. Because I guess the idea is this knight is so bad. So c4 was actually a very strong move because you're not giving this place a knight to go. Maybe knight d1 was an idea? I don't know. This is annoying. Oh, this did happen actually. Wait, but now white's just up a pawn. Some tactics. Ooh, bishop d2. Wait, bishop f4? Or knight f4? Anything f4? He missed it. Did white flag? Ooh, bishop a3 is not a move you want to play. But still... Oh, but now it's already tricky because f3 is falling. Oof. I think time pressure just got to him. Alright, so a good escape by Lemieux. Again, I think he's quite strong in blitz. I've played him a few times. But we're probably gonna get Tari against one of these guys now. Oh wait, no, sorry, Tari drew. Who's on? Okay. 2 leaders. We watched Gazik last time, so let's watch Lemieux this time. 2 young players. Though I think Sean is a lot younger. Wow, 4.5, 5.5. Is no one on 5? Wow, there's only 1 player on 5, so these players are really starting to separate themselves. If either Gazik or Lemieux wins here, they're going to be in very good position for the last 2 rounds. But if Chopra, if their opponents manage to beat them, it's really completely wide open. So if you want excitement, you should root for the, let's say, underdogs. Though I'm not really sure how much you can call the GM an underdog in any game, unless they're playing a super GM. Okay, we get this. We've seen this before from Mr. Lemieux. Okay, so typical idea of rerouting the knight to hit somewhere on d4. Okay, now it's a Maroczy bind structure. Kind of like a Fianchetto King's Indian. I tend to like these positions for white. Notice how both sides have 10 seconds more than they started with, so they're moving very quickly and know what they're doing. But again, especially for blitz, I love these positions for white because they're so easy to play. b3 was a little scary. I might sack the exchange, but he might take d4 first, which he probably should. Because if not, I would sack the exchange immediately. Yeah, that's why he does that. Take, check. Maybe no check, actually. Although then what do you do? Maybe black is equalized. It's just annoying because you get hit with 96 at some lines. No. But now this pawn's weak. Doesn't look right. I think queen f6. I think black has the initiative here. Queen f6 or queen b6. No, the knight c4. Yeah, queen f6. No, just rook d8. e5 is a threat here, by the way, because if pawn takes d7. Okay, knight d4 parries that. Maybe rook a7 is active, but now bishop b5. Yeah, and okay, if you take this and go e5, that is going to be a lot of trouble for white. Very classic Maroczy bind strategy. See, both players have slowed down a bit. I say slowed down, neither of them are down even a minute. This is tough, though. You can't stop black trading this bishop for this knight because of the pin. And this versus this is kind of what every Maroczy bind player on the black side is taught to achieve. Now the good news for white is he will have f4 breaks. Ooh, but now rook b2. Ooh, that does not look good. f4 you really don't want to go. That's going to spell trouble. And e5's coming. This looks really, really bad. I would go e5. Or rook c8, actually, even better. Hit the pawn. Okay, he goes rook b8. Idea rook c2 and rook b2. Rook a6, I think I'm just going e5. Oh, wait, then c5. Rook b1's an idea here, too. This looks very scary. We might see the leader going down here. Computer already gives 2 and 2.4. Oh, that's a nice intermezzo. Now you get f2. Objectively, white has chances. I'd be a little scared though. Oh wait, but now he gets rook a7. Hold on. Wait. That's a big blunder. That's a big blunder. Okay, white might be surviving this. It's these good blitz players and strong grandmasters. They just find a way. Find a way. They're so tricky. So hard to get a win against because you got to be perfect the whole game. I mean, you're going to run into queen anywhere. Rook a7's coming. I mean, even white might win this now. Wait, g5 is kind of crazy because you're asking for some sort of mate with g4 eventually. Computer saying white's completely winning after rook a takes f7. Also, this knight has no good squares now because all the good squares are covered. Oh, big blunder apparently. I have a feeling white's not going to settle for a draw. Based on the momentum of the game, even if the computer says it's even, and objectively it might be, I think white's going to try to play for a win here. It's hard to flip that switch back to I want to draw after you feel like you got something. But maybe he's much more mature than me and we'll just take the draw. We'll find out. I think he's just going to take the draw. I mean, to be fair, to continue, you have to go rook f7. Rook f7 is the only way to continue because you got to guard f3. Yeah, okay, he takes a draw. So at least he slowed down. Now can Gazik take the clear lead? Okay, crazy position. Currently white's up a piece. Now he has 2 pieces for a rook. I still prefer if white does not... Ah, but this is scary. Queen e2. Oh, big blunder? Why? Wait, h6? Where do you go? Oh, big blunder. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think you had to go king f2 or something. Oh no, but then rook t... What was the best move here? I don't know. It's already... Yeah, it's scary because the... I don't know why I didn't go knight f3 here. King f3 is very bold. Maybe he just forgot black could go h6. Oh, okay, so he's going for chaos. We'll see if it works. Computer says no, but I don't think Gazik is a robot. Queen c7 makes sense. Yeah, I don't think white has enough. Wow, king's on g4. Famous Nigel Short game. Unfortunately, I think in that Nigel Short game, there were a lot less open files. Yeah, this is over. And rook d8. There's nothing. Alright, so Gazik's going down, which I think puts Sean in the clear lead. Oh no. Subramaniam won. Okay, so now Subramaniam catches up. I think they already played each other also. So you have a little bit of a leader circle forming. Tari also won his game. Alright, we have a bunch of crazy games left. Just go through them. This one, white's just up a piece. This one's probably a draw. It's also probably a draw. You got Nathaniel Philip Moore potentially pulling off an upset against I Am Foos. This looks pretty bad for black. 2 passed pawns. We have another FM Austin May. Looks like he's in trouble. Down in exchange. Let's see how Atari won. Whoa. I guess it's theory. That's kind of crazy. F4 is a little weird. I guess very concretely you have bishop a6. So white? Wow, okay. Very good prep from Cardoso, or very good understanding. Because I think if you don't have bishop a6 right away, like if white gets b3, bishop b2 in here, in like one move, he'd be very happy. Tari was in trouble down a pawn. So rook c3 was a little rushed, I guess. Just knight d7 and say this bishop has no future. Bishop, yeah. And now, cause yeah, even if you double, I'm surprised you didn't try this at least. I guess the idea is bishop g1 and you just push this pawn. And he just converted this rook endgame very smoothly. Let's look at our co-leader one. That's a brutal position at the end. Drobava London with f3, e4, wow. And you can't take here because of queen f3, I guess. Compensation. Must be some kind of preparation or like theory. So we got a little bit of a French structure here. And white just completely hangs a exchange and black did not take it after 4 seconds of thought. That does happen. Sometimes you trust your GM opponent too much. I mean, it's easy. I guess it's easy with the engine on to notice all this. But I will say we've seen a lot of topsy-turvy games, which is what we wanted. Yeah, it was pretty clinical after that. White just hangs rook f8. Kind of very typical French game. Bishop d3 is a nice touch here. Because otherwise you maybe allow him to get the knight to e6. You could go knight e6 here also, but this is weak. Alright, so we got 2 rounds left. Gazik in the clear lead with 6.5. Wait, what? Oh wait, yeah. So Gazik in the clear lead with 6.5. Got 2 at 6. Lemire and Subramanian. Aryantari alone at 5.5. Currently our best performing non-GM is I Am Bogdan Bilivil at 5 out of 7. So yeah, I think these 4 guys are really the guys to pay attention to. Gazik, Rodrigue. So the most exciting thing for the last round would be if Tari beats Gazik and Rodrigue draws and Subramanian draws. Now I don't know how these pairings will work out because the top 3 have already played each other. No, so Gazik will play Subramanian and Tari will play Rodrigue. Okay. So somebody's going to end up with 7, I guess. At least. So if Gazik wins here, he's in very good position for the last round. This is a very strong field, I will say. All right, yep, we have Gazik. Oh no, we have Gazik against Tari. Interesting. Not the pairings I expected, but I guess this gives a chance to make a mess if Tari wins. So I think Tari will be very aggressive here. Assuming they all want first. So we have e4, e5, d4, a Scotch game. Queen f6, sideline. Bishop c5 and knight f6 are the main moves. Not too familiar with this one. Bishop c5, c3, I guess knight e7, or queen g6 maybe is also a move here to hit the pawn. And then go knight f6. I'm not sure. Okay, just knight e7. Bishop b5. Can black just castle? I'm a little scared about some kind of f4, e5 at some point. Bishop b6 probably just avoiding any weird discoveries. I assume black wants to go d5 somewhere. So maybe a4 discourages that. But I guess maybe just either a6 or a5. It's always confusing which one to play here. Okay, he goes a6. They each have their pros and cons usually. Like a5, this is weakened. a6 allows white to play a5 someday. But probably what he did was the right decision. So I think, yeah. I think black, if bishop d2, d5 comes automatically, so maybe he has to go bishop c4. And then just like d6 and you have a game. I kind of like black's position though with queen g6, bishop h3 ideas. Okay, but now d5? Or take and then d5 maybe? Okay, a5 intermezzo. This may be good. I guess queen g6. I feel like black's comfortable here, but I might be missing something. Maybe there's bishop h5 annoying this. The queen's almost trapped if you go bishop e6. Okay, I guess now queen e6. The good thing is now bishop is not on d3. Knight f5 is gonna come. I still think black is doing pretty well here. I feel like Hikaru Nakamura gets these kind of positions a lot with black. I'm not sure why knight f5 couldn't have been played, but also remember Tari kind of has to play for a win, so he could be going a little more aggressive. Computer likes bishop f4, which makes sense. So you can take with the bishop. Okay, now black can't be worse, I think. This pawn is going to be a target. Notice how it's isolated. C6 maybe. H6 preventing bishop g5 is nice. It's kind of hard to see what white will do. I feel like he just kind of has to sit around. He doesn't have any active plans because there's no breaks here once you go c6. Like you could try like b4, c6, knight a4, knight c5, but then if the knight ends up here, these are some juicy squares. Just develop the pieces, I guess, somehow. Oh, well, I guess you can't go rook e8 because of this bishop. So maybe like bishop f5, bishop g6, rook e8, c6, knight c8, knight d6, ideas like that. Bishop d7 is actually nice because it prevents knight a4 and also stops b4, b5 for now. So I imagine could also go bishop e8 at some point. Let's take a quick look at the Lemieux game because that's also important. Okay, this position is madness. Computer says white is a bit better, but I mean, I wouldn't take too much stock into a computer evaluation here. Anything could happen. G2, white king's weak. White also has 15 seconds, so let's stay on this game a little bit. I think it's going to be more explosive than the other game in the short term. A4. Queen b6 hits b4, b5. Okay, you gotta watch out for queen a5 ideas, but the king just sneaks off to f1. Knight f5 hits d4. You can take this. Wow, computer wants knight f6. Oh, I was about to say, I doubt he plays that, but Aditya finds it. Now, what's the idea? You just take and say your king is super weak? That's actually very impressive. He plays knight f6. It's not obvious to me. Although he doesn't have the right follow-up, but it's still dangerous for white. So now it's a piece sack. Well, not really, because... Oh, well, I guess yes, really. Yeah, now it's just a piece sack. Okay. With 5 seconds, the attack is not super obvious to me. I'm gonna guess Rodrigue actually takes this, although anything could still happen. Like, even if you trade the queen, that's still dangerous because rook c7, you might get 2 passed pawns here. So as always, my prediction might be completely wrong. We can see Chopra won, so he's jumps to 6. He's going to want Gazik to lose. Just taking a quick peek, it looks like it's pretty even there. Right? That might fizzle out into a draw. Alright, well, this game is very interesting. Let's see what happens. We might get rook and bishop versus rook. Wow, this is scary. I mean, bishop e4 somewhere, probably, to cover some of these squares. Maybe even now. Hold on, it says Gazik's completely winning against Tari. What happened here? Bishop f2? He's just down a pawn. I guess he just missed. Was this necessary? I guess it's not the most obvious. Apparently is the best solution here. Why not rook d2 here? instead of allowing bishop f3. Wow, so that's a huge win for Gazik. And he already wins because Tari flagged. In a position that actually was holdable. So that's a huge result. Lemieux drew by repetition. I'm not too surprised there because extra piece but the passed pawns. This repetition is much more believable. So that puts Gazik 1 point clear of the entire field. Lemieux 6.5, 1 point behind, and then the rest are at 6 or below. Which means the only way Gazik doesn't win this outright is if he loses and Rodrigue wins. So Gazik will be hoping, or no, sorry, Rodrigue Lemieux will be hoping Gazik loses. I think Gazik is at least in turn to have black, so maybe those chances rise a little, and Rodrigue is gonna try to go all out against his opponent. However that may be, he already played Chopra, he already played Subramaniam, so he might get Isik Khan next. And it looks like Gazik is gonna get Chopra. He's very capable, so you never know. The only thing is Chopra has no chance of getting first, so I don't know how motivated he will be. If Gazik gets a quick draw against him, he can secure the tournament. Mr. SRL will not be very happy in that case, but it is what it is. Looks like St. Louis University is doing very well, by the way, now that I see 3 of the top 4 are from the same school. So they are unsurprisingly in the lead in the team standings. Gazik, let's see if I can expand this a bit. So yeah, Chopra, Subramaniam, and Gazik are all at St. Louis University right now. So they are very clearly a powerhouse, which I think they usually are, other than Webster, who I guess is not participating. In second place in the team standings is UTRGV, led by Rodrigue Lemieux, but they're 3 points behind St. Louis. So yeah, a lot of powerhouses, but it looks like St. Louis is really taking it home today. Now again, I don't know what the rule is between same school players playing each other, because it's going to be a little complicated if they're not allowed to, because then Gazik can't play Chopra, can't play Subramaniam, and would have to play maybe Isik Khan, and then Rodrigue would have to play Gleb Dudin maybe. Someone did mention Tari might be in a tournament, actual tournament right now, so maybe he's a little tired. Alright, last round. For all the marbles, say about 80% chance Kazik takes it home, but maybe even higher, maybe 90%. But we'll see. He's been vulnerable in a few games, but he's been very good in the clutch moments. And this draw with Lemieux may come to bite Lemieux. I wonder what his chess.com blitz rating is. So we'll see. If anything happens. Last round, so they're probably just making sure everything is in order. So unfortunately, we got no Cinderella story today, but again, I am Fiam Vidyarthi. He's doing quite well at number 8, tied for 6th. And Mr. or Miss, I'm not sure, Amila Munkdalai is also on 5.5 as an IM, so I guess those are our 2 non-GMs of the day. See, round 9 is still taking a little bit to get ready. Some people might also be withdrawing. That could be another thing. Again, I believe this is officially US Chess Online rated, so which I think is a thing that started in COVID. So because it's so official, they're probably just taking some time to make sure everything is correct. Oh, Alright, so Gazik will play Isik Khan. Rodrigo Lemieux will play Dagupati. Those are the two games we need to focus on. Okay. So let's see. If we want anything to happen, Mr. Khan has to win. Let's see if she gives an easy draw or not. Who doesn't love to play spoiler? Let's predict the first move, e4. Oh, I was right. Okay, Sicilian. We're gonna get a Nydorf here, maybe? Nope. I don't even know what this is called. What the heck is this? Some weird sideline, I guess. Which is why white is thinking. And Victor has 6 seconds more than he started with. I don't even know what the idea here is. Maybe like a quick e5 and take with the bishop. Alright, we get the Bobby Fischer bishop c4. Take a quick look at Lemieux's game just to see what the opening is there. Oh wow, that's also a crazy English line. I'd say this is what Lemieux wants though. It's very I think he has good chances to get a nice position there to play for a win. Alright, now this is some sort of dragon. Is it gonna transpose or is something weird gonna happen? It's like if you just go like queen d2, although bishop c4 was played, so it's like a bishop c4 dragon, which I believe is what Bobby Fischer was known for. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I never really studied too much. Bishop b3, knight f6, f3, I guess. Queen d2, I presume. Knight a5 is interesting. I like h4. Just be aggressive, go for the throat. So usually white's castled somewhere, but right now he's delaying it. Rook b8 seems a little slow because usually when black goes for this, white's castled. And computer doesn't like this. So yeah, just h5. What's the idea here? Black clearly thinks he's okay. But this is very scary. I mean, you're going to have to take this bishop. If you don't, you're about to... something bad's going to happen. So you're going to have to take this at some point. But if you take, now you gave him a tempo because a7's hurt. And white is starting to like take and then play bishop h6. Now this looks very dangerous. So let's see how Gazik tries to unravel from this. a5. Okay, a6. Bishop h6 or takes? I guess bishop h6 first is better so you can take when you want to. And black has less time to follow up with defenses. This is definitely not what you want in a game where all you need to do is a draw. Which I'm a little surprised he went c5. And this weird sideline. But maybe this is just what he usually does. The threat right now is take... Queen h6, check, and like knight d5 ideas. For those unfamiliar with the classics, there's a very famous game with Karpov. So knight e2, I guess, is the only place you can go. And now this pawn's really weak. You might even go like rook d1. Because I wouldn't castle. I mean... White could honestly even like castle kingside and just say the structure is really good for him. But probably you can just go for the kill somehow. Okay, he's clearly thinking about take on g6 because otherwise there's nothing else you're thinking about, I think. Knight f5 doesn't work. It's not like black can't take here because you go g4, knight f6, knight d5. And you can't stop this because you're going to lose a defender. Okay, maybe just g4 I would go. Okay, I mean you can afford to castle first. Now g4. I'd be very surprised if g4 doesn't come. Okay, yeah. This is so scary. I think you want to double and then go g5. If not g5 immediately, I'm just not sure what the tactical implications are. Knight g3 is a nice move because if g5, you have something to take it. Knight f5 is so tempting here. Because if you take and the bishop moves, you got knight d5, and it's on the board, so brilliant move according to the computer. So the thing is that this bishop moves, you have knight d5 and f6, which is killing, so you kind of have to just let this bishop be taken, but I don't even know if you take it. I think I don't know, but this looks really scary. It's kind of a nightmare game for Gazik. Let's quickly see how Rodrigue is doing. He is completely winning. Completely might be strong. Okay, but now bishop d7. Or no. Okay, there's still some work to be done, but I think he's up a pawn and very good structure here. Even bishop f1. 14 seconds, I'd be surprised. So let's go back to Gazik. So yeah, this happened. Rook g1. Threat right now is f6. Because if queen takes queen f8, and if knight takes queen g7, and if you go somewhere else, rook g7 comes threatening h7, and if you take, it's checkmate. Hold on, let's refresh. Okay, so he takes on c3. Wait, f6? f6? I think f6 wins. Because if queen takes, like I said, queen f8, knight takes, queen g7 mate. And move, actually, you just lose the rook, actually. It's just game over. I don't even know why I mentioned rook g7 earlier. Okay, even king b1 would be kind of cute. But I think you just take, and he has no more checks. Bishop b3, just take. The thing is, this rook can't come to the party is the issue. Yeah, this is over. Check, check, and queen f8. Wow, so Gazik goes down, which means... Let's look at Rodrigue Lamy again. He is completely winning. Unless disaster strikes. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Is that a mouse slip, or did he just forget? So that, as you can see, brings the two at a tie. Wow. So again, my prediction is wrong because I said that there was like a 80% chance or higher that Gazik takes the whole thing. Very nice game and probably disappointing game. Well, nice for Isak Khan, disappointing for Mr. Gazik. Let's take a quick look at what happened in the opening in Sean's game. English has worked out very well for him this tournament. Oh, d5 is probably just not a good move here, precisely for this reason. So play a little too quickly by Dagopati, I think. Unless this is theory, but I'd be very happy as white in this position. Yeah, this was just brutal. Ooh, queen f5 is nice, simplifying. And then, it's still kind of scary, but rook e2 is... Yeah, I don't know. He must have meant to go here, and then you still have to do some work. So Gazik won't be happy about that. But well-deserved win by Rodrigue. And wow, so the two players that drew earlier end up winning. So I guess they really knew that those two were the far and away strongest players and that they would just naturally beat everyone else. I don't think there are any tie breaks, are there? What are the tie break rules? Let's see. It's just the regular. Okay, it's the regular chess.com tie breaks. So I don't know who would have better tie breaks. I have a feeling Rodrigue has better tie breaks because he's played all these really strong St. Louis players, and unfortunately Gazik is a St. Louis player, so I don't think he can play those other St. Louis players. So naturally, Rodrigue might take this home, who was kind of my original one of the picks, so that works out well for me. In terms of team standings, I'm guessing Slew just takes it home. And then looks like Mizzou jumped over UTRGV last round, but I don't know what'll happen this round. If there's any other games going on right now. Just this one game looks like White is completely winning. Wow, so I see tiebreaks here. It says that they have the same modified median tiebreak, but it looks like whoa, wait, which tiebreak is the rule here? Because one of the tiebreaks Lemieux has more, and one of the tiebreaks the other guy has, Gazik has more. What are the tiebreak rules? So I think Solkov tiebreak is going to be used because they're tied for the modified median. It's funny because cumulative, actually, Gazik has more, but I think that means Rodrigue takes it home. And he also has a better opponent cumulative. Right, well, either way, big congratulations to both with a very strong tournament. Isaac Khan, clear third, with also a good tournament, kind of MVP of the last round, beating the leader, giving Sean a chance to tie it up. And looks like Tari had a disappointing end, but he wasn't playing for much there. And our MVP non-GM, Viam, finishing strong, tied for fourth. So our non-GM of the day. All right, well, I think Lemieux took it home. Disappointing finish for Vikazik, but still a great tournament, beating Tari, for example. And yeah, tomorrow is the Rapid Championship with Joe. I believe 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Also, the candidate starts, so everyone's excited for that. So I hope everyone has a good day, and thank you for tuning in.